Hi folks, and welcome to another short video where I'll be extolling the virtues of the cycling app Rouvy. Here we have the main startup screen of Rouvy. Now on the first tile here you decide what route you're going to ride. Now the one selected here at the moment is the one I did previously, which is Ville-sur-Ozon-Monieux. I hope I did the pronunciation justice. However, if you want to change the route, you click on change route here, and after a short delay the change route screen comes up. Now you can select route by name if you know it, by distance if you have a set distance you want to do or a minimum distance you want to do, duration in time if you want to spend half an hour, 45 minutes, an hour, whatever. Riders, this, if we go into it, this will bring up a route and it will tell you how many riders are on each route if you want to have a little company along the way. Also there is maximum grade if you want to select a route for its steepness or its flatness. Also on the top here you have something similar, less or greater than 60 minutes, 30 to 60 minutes, less than 30 minutes, and so on. Also there is a search option when you click on, and if you know the route you just type it in and it'll bring up, say if I put in Mallorca. Sometimes that's spelled with two L's instead of a J, but we'll see what happens. And it brings up routes Cala Mallorca, Mallorca 60, Tour of Mallorca Stage 1, and so on. However, I know the route that I want to cycle, so I'm going to go out of the search and back to the main screen. Now we're back here. So Ville-sur-Ozon-Monieux. I did that previously. It's a hilly route, so I want something flat today. So what I'm going to do is go change route, just before I select a route, on the lower tile here they have recommended routes, and on this they show you how many live riders. This one here, Challenge Gunsan, and I can't pronounce the rest of it, I think it's in Korea. It's a 30 kilometer ride, and it looks like the greatest height is 26 meters, so it's a flat route. Now you can go back and forth on this and it will show you other routes. Here's one with 52 live riders. It's a 50k cycle and you've got 1037 meters of climbing, so I'm not going to do that today. And another one, 44 live riders, Lago di Garda, Italy. Now that's the one I'm going to do because it's one of my favorites. However, I don't have to select it here. If I had gone back up into the change route screen, and then I have my favorites, and amongst my favorites are Lago di Garda, Italy. It's 27.09 kilometers, maximum gradient 4%, so it's easy. And at present there are 42 riders on it, and it should take about 52 minutes to complete the entire course, 27 kilometers, and I'll be doing good if I do it in the 52 minutes because I'm 60 years old and not as fast as I used to be. Now usually on this screen you have the option here to download the video. I already have it downloaded, so when I click on this it should go into my list of pre-downloaded routes. So I just scroll down and look for it. Where is it? So here we are, Lago di Garda, Italy, and select. And that should come back up to the main screen in just a few seconds. So here we are again. Now, one of the benefits of having a route pre-downloaded is sometimes you may have slow Wi-Fi issues or intermittent Wi-Fi. I have that issue here as I'm out in the conservatory of the house. I'm reliant on the Wi-Fi, whereas if I was inside I could have an Ethernet plugged in direct into the laptop and I'd have plenty of bandwidth. What this does is it plays the video from your hard drive that you've already pre-downloaded, and so frees up bandwidth for the avatars and the other virtual riders who are going to be superimposed into the augmented reality screen, into the high definition video. So anyway, I'll get started. So we click the start button down here. Now you have the option time trial or just ride. If you go into the settings, you can actually have either one of these as the default mode. So I'm just going to go just ride. Takes it a while then, loading the augmented reality data, downloading models, and that's nearly done there now. The Wi-Fi isn't too slow today. And there we have Lake Garda. You can see certain riders along the route already. Along the profile at the bottom, you can see different riders. Now, once I hop on the bike and start pedaling, it will go into camera mode and you'll see my avatar. One of the most difficult things I find about indoor cycling is getting motivated. Some days you just don't feel like cycling, either indoors or outdoors, but you know you have to do it. But one of the great motivators I find in Rouvy is this list on the left hand side of the screen, which shows you the riders nearby, shows you the rider ahead and shows you the rider behind. So you might start off feeling a little bit lazy and say, maybe I'm only going to do a half an hour or 10 or 15k and give it a rest at that. But when you have this nearby list, or leaderboard as I like to call it, you can see the rider ahead, you can see the watts they're putting out, and you can say, hey, you know, I might catch that guy or that gal. And so you put in a little bit of an effort, it's a little bit of motivation to catch up. Or if you have somebody pass you like that, it motivates you also to catch up. Now you might look ahead and the nearest rider in front of you is maybe a kilometre ahead, and you'd say, no way I'm going to catch him, he's putting out too many watts. But you may see somebody coming up behind you, and if you see Will and Peter there underneath me, Ronaldo, they're just behind, so maybe I just want to stay ahead of them. Or if you see a guy maybe further back, maybe 300 meters, closing to 250, closing to 200, and you say to yourself, I don't think I'll let him catch me. More motivation. And I've often found that sometimes I get on the bike to do a short ride. I'll just do 10-15k and I've done something, and I end up doing the entire spin because the devil gets into me. The main difference for me between Rouvy and other cycling apps, especially that other cycling app, you know the one that I mean, is the high definition video. It really takes you there. This particular route of Lake Garda is very scenic, and if you're going to try an indoor setup with the Rouvy app, don't do it on your iPhone or tablet. If you can, get a big screen TV, because you just really appreciate the high definition video that much more, and it makes it just more immersive. It's also inspirational in a way that some of the routes I've done, I've actually looked them up and started researching them as prospective holiday destinations. This is one particular route that I would love to do in real life. Another thing I like about the high definition videos, there are some routes on this that I have actually ridden in real life. One in particular was in Mallorca, and I haven't been there for 6 or 7 years now, but with work, home, COVID, time constraints and everything. But when I rode it on Rouvy, it just brought back a lot of memories. I was cycling through a town of Calvia in Mallorca, and I was able to spot a restaurant, Can Torat, where I had a few meals, and is owned by, I can't think of his name now, Theo, a former domestique of Eddie Merckx, and it's a restaurant that is filled with cycling paraphernalia and memorabilia and excellent Mallorcan food, well worth a visit. Maison Can Torat, Calvia, Mallorca. Look it up. If you go there once, you'll go there again. Another motivational aspect of Rouvy, if you see the nearby list again on the left hand side of the screen, if you happen to choose a route that you like but there are no live riders on it, you actually have your own team of ghost riders. Now if you look at the nearby list, you can see my name highlighted in blue. Ahead of me are Emma and Peter, and behind Will and Lauren. They're my ghost riders, or whatever you like to call them. I like to call them my teammates. Now if I come to a complete stop, as I'm going to do now, you see my wattage now is gone to 0. Then Peter, Emma, Will and Lauren will also come to a standstill. In other words, like good teammates, they wait for you. And this is good on a route that, if you picked it, no other live riders, if you just need that motivation to push yourself, you have these guys and they'll never leave you behind. See, now we're gradually coming to a halt. I'll speed up again. Now I'm not sure how the algorithm works, but if I decide to attack and up my wattage, pass them all out, after a while they're going to respond. Now I've got 18 meters, 19 meters on Will, Emma and Peter. But even if I keep this up, one or two of them will come along and pass me out, motivating me to speed up a little bit if I can, to keep up with them. I'll just let them catch up now. Or if not, if I just hang back, they'll ease off, but I'll always be riding in a group, even on a route with no other live riders. It's just another extra little motivational tool that Rouvy has incorporated into the app. And it's good, it works, it does what it's supposed to do. Once again, just to reiterate, the biggest attraction for me in Rouvy is this high definition video and the augmented reality, which allows your avatar and those of others to be inserted into it. But as I said, has to be seen on a HD widescreen TV. Now my camera mightn't be picking up the definition as good as I'm seeing it, and mind you, these days I need a pair of spectacles to see it myself. But like I said before, it's just all so immersive. Not quite like being there, but as good as you'll get in a back room in your own house in cold, damp, wet Ireland on a January Saturday afternoon. Just a little mention on other elements of the screen. In the top left corner you can see a graphic that shows your output watts per kilo, your speed in kilometers per hour, your cadence and your heart rate. And that little yellow graphic then below that with the blue balloon, that blue balloon is me. It shows you the immediate gradient you're on, which at the moment is minus 0.1, so it's slightly downhill. And that's there the whole time, and it shows you when there's a hill coming up in the immediate distance ahead, and just gets you ready to change gear in time not to get caught, say, taking a sharp left bend into a 10-degree slope. I've slowed to a snail's pace now, and Will, Peter, Emma and Lauren have dutifully done the same. Now I think I'll try and pick things up a bit. Now Just Dalt is 124 meters, 125, so he's going faster than me, but I'm going to up the pace now because I want to catch him. So here goes. It's coming down 60 meters. Now I can see him. Here comes Peter to give me a little hand. Now I'm going to sit on his wheel and see what he does. I'm now drafting. That looks like a nice place to stay. One of the things about the nearby list or the leaderboard is that it doesn't give you any indication of what age the other riders are. Now in mine there's a clue in the name, Ronaldo 1962, so take 2022 minus 1962 and that gives you your answer. But it would be nice to know the other riders, their age profiles, because you could be trying to catch some guy ahead of you, busting a gut trying to catch some guy or some gal ahead of you, and they could be 20 or 30 years your junior. Conversely, you could be passed out by some guy or girl who are maybe 5 or 10 years your senior, and maybe you don't want to know about that. But perhaps some of you other Rouvy users out there know something about that. I know one way of doing it, say if you have a rider, say Peter was a real person and he happened to be on Strava, as most cyclists are. When you're finished, your route is uploaded onto Strava, and in Strava you have the flyby function where you can see other riders who have ridden the same course at the same time. And if Peter happened to be there, then there's a way, a rather convoluted way of finding out what age group he's in. If you go into the, say, a segment list and find his position on it, and then you can filter by age group and that way figure out roughly what age. But it's just something that would be nice to know. We're within the last kilometre. I'm with my teammates, and I reckon as team leader it's only fitting that I should finish first. "500 metres to go." Will is still in front, and Lauren in front of him. I've got his wheel. Well, that's my ride finished. I must make a mental note to charge the camera batteries before I start a video. I'm having to finish off with one of my little action cams. Anyway, what I missed just at the end, or what you missed, was me almost catching one of my ghost riders at the finish line. If I had done, it would have been a victory. Not a real one, as they're not real riders, but at my age you have to snatch every victory you can get. So anyway, that's another brief little introduction to the world of Rouvy. So thanks for watching, and please subscribe on the screen, which might be that side or maybe it's that side. You find it. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.